I don't have a college degree. Here we are at Amazon.
What is something that immediately stands out in a resume?
An immediate red flag. So I've never hired someone through a cold email.
If it's a position in the US, can someone from Canada or India directly apply and just move to the US? Do you think, as a recruiter, hiring has slowed down now that... Hi everyone, this is Anjali from Gamma. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm here today with Linda Lay. She is a tech recruiter on Amazon and a content creator on LinkedIn with 600,000 followers. She's huge and I love her. It's my first time meeting her. How are you doing today?
I'm doing so well. It's so fun to finally meet Anjali. We met online and now we're in Houston hanging out all day.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your career journey.
So I am actually a non-traditional applicant. I was a college dropout. I didn't have experiences, didn't have any skills or and have gaps on my resume. And I was able to break into tech, build a huge brand, build my content, personal brands, network with recruiters, hiring managers. And I want to help you and be able to show you how to do it too.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. So, wait, what do you mean by you're not a traditional candidate per se? Do you have a college degree or where'd you go?
I don't have a college degree. I went to community college. I got into my dream school and then I dropped out because I didn't want to be in all that debt. So I started a housekeeper, and then I was a banker. I worked as a cashier, and then I was a recruiter, and here we are at Amazon.
That is awesome. Was it hard for you to get into Amazon after all of these random jobs, or do you think they actually helped build your resume to get you where you are?
I think they helped build my resume to get me to where I am. Believe it or not, I actually got into Amazon 3 years ago when I was at my first real recruiting job, but I turned it down. Didn't feel like I had the self-worth, but all of those jobs built my confidence, helped me network, enhanced my resume, and it made me stand out to Amazon now. I'm glad that I got into Amazon now, not 3 years ago.
Well, that's awesome. And you definitely deserve everything that you have. You're super hardworking, very smart. So I'm so proud of you. So another question that I had for you is, do you ever feel discriminated because you don't have a college degree versus everybody else?
Absolutely. Being when I first broke into my recruiting job, I interviewed at the same company 5 times, and 4 hiring managers refused to give me the job, said it was because I didn't have a college degree. It was because I was incompetent for not going to college, even though it was an entry level position. But when I was given a chance, you could definitely train for the skill set. You don't need to have a college degree to be successful.
So then, based on your experience and consider you're now a recruiter, do you discriminate against, I wouldn't say discriminate, but do you are you okay with people without college degrees applying directly to Amazon if they have the skills?
Absolutely. Skills, attitude, experiences, outside of a college degree is so valuable. Now I've seen so many companies, they take that requirement off the job application. And used to be a basic qualification requirement that you had to have it, but now they don't even require it as much anymore. I've seen so many people that I know in my workforce that I've met, they're like, oh yeah, we don't have a college degree. And they're still so successful. They're managers, they're seniors, levels. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's really good to know. So for the next section of the video, I had asked my Instagram followers to give me a set of questions to ask you because they have a lot of things that they want to ask you. So I have a list here for you and I'm going to get right into it if you're ready. All right. So the first question is, how much time do you spend per resume as a recruiter at Amazon?
Well, typically, first of all, recruiters spend an average of 5 to 30 seconds per resume because they get so many. But I spend 1 to 5 minutes per resume, depending on the candidate and what they put on their resume. So if you just put job experiences and title on there, I'll probably just scroll through it really fast if there's no substance. But if you take the time to curate your resume with bullet points, your experiences, your skills, I will spend 1 to 5 minutes looking through it, making sure you're the right fit so you get a fair chance.
It's awesome that you care enough to spend 5 whole minutes per resume, but then how do you handle the load? Don't you get way too many applications to go through every single one of them at the rate of 5 minutes per resume?
So yes and no. It depends again on the job, but typically the ATS is a human. There's always a human behind the ATS. It's not a robot, but we do use filters to filter out the keywords, which is why it's so important to have the right skill sets that match the job descriptions, the basic qualifications, and everything that they're looking for. Because if you have those, you will pop up in our search, and that's why we find you.
So then you did say that keywords are important. Are there any resume formats that are weird and unparsable per se?
I would say if you have bullet points that are not quantifiable, actionable, like it doesn't measure any impact that you had to the company, whether like metrics, the money that you made the company, the time that you spent, projects that you had done, then that's the reason why like a lot of people don't move forward. You could be a really great candidate, but it's how you present yourself that matters.
So then, based on your previous answer, what is something that immediately stands out in a resume?
Metrics stand out the most: skill sets, projects, experience, and sometimes not saying like all like degrees matter, but sometimes having like a bachelor's degree for that specific role, it does matter. So those are like the five things that I would focus on and make sure like it highlights all of that in bold on your resume.
So, since the degree also seems to matter, is it just like the degree itself, like computer science, or do you also care about universities? Like, if somebody's from MIT, do they get an edge?
I don't think that's fair to say. I don't think like they get an edge. Again, there's a lot of people who graduate from like Ivy League colleges, but they don't have any of those skills or any reputable like experience, or they're not able to interview like or show their skills the right way. I've known so many like friends that went to state school and community college and they beat out all of those applicants because they were able to quantify their impact. So where you go does not matter as the person and the what you have.
Awesome. So, in addition to the resume reviews, right, you probably have screening phone calls with the candidates. So, what is something that you're looking for when screening a candidate, specifically for tech roles?
Specifically for tech roles, it's the main skill set. So, like, if you are a software engineer, and it depends on what we're hiring for. Like, for example, like if I was hiring for a software engineer, like depending if it's like full stack, back end, or front end, you want to make sure that you have the right like JavaScript, Python, C++. You want to make sure that it matches the job description. So I always say, like, please, like, your resume has every language that the job description is looking for. Like, it's great if, like, you're, like, a back end and you have X, Y, and Z. But if we're looking for front end and you're missing one of the key principles, we probably would not be able to move forward with you. And it's not that there's anything wrong with you. It's just not the right type of software engineer that we're looking for.
So, following up, do referrals matter at all?
Referrals are one of the number one key ways that you can get into a job. So that's why I recommend networking and building your relationships with people like at the company that you want to work for. Keep in touch with friends, mentors, previous bosses. You never know where they're going to end up. I've seen like in every single company that I've worked for, no matter big or small, referrals get the number one priority and they always get first look. Whenever like I apply for a job and I have a friend that works there, they're like, don't apply for the job. Let me refer you first, because you're more likely to get in because of your network versus like what you have on your resume. Like you could be the number one candidate and like you could go to an Ivy League, 5 years of experience. But if someone gets a referral and they have 3 years of experience and they went to a state school, they'll probably beat you in first because someone put their name in the bucket.
So, how does it work behind the scenes? Like, do referred people have like a little star marking their application, or is it that you go through the referral or the applications first, and then once you're through, you then go through the ones who applied online? Like, what I'm just curious what happens behind the scenes.
So it depends on the company, it depends on the recruiter, it just depends on who it is. Sometimes, like, I have referred people to a role, but there's a better applicant that got referred to first, or like they already had screened someone. It just depends on like the priority if they got to it first. But typically, like, they will send it through like an email or like an internal system. And then because like it's internal, they'll have to look at it and either send a rejection or like and it move them forward and screen them because they're like a fit for the role. So another thing with referrals, you have to also be a fit for the role. You can't just refer everyone and just expect like, hey, we're just going to give you the job because you referred them. You have to be a good candidate as well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, since you said it depends on, when the applicant applied and when they were referred, does the time of applying matter? Like, if there's a role that opened up today, does it matter if I apply today versus 10 days later if the role is going to be open for 30 days? Like, is it on a rolling basis?
Yes, it just depends on like the position. So for example, if we had opened a position like 30 days ago and like so tech positions take long. Like it's not like other like positions. Tech positions can take like 1 to 2 months, like on-sites, TPS, interviews, tests, everything like that. So if someone is already in the process and no one has gotten an offer yet, they'll probably still consider other candidates and referrals will go through or they'll be put in the back end. And then if another position pops up, they'll probably reach out to them too.
The next question that I have for you is, what is an immediate red flag in a candidate when you're talking to them? What is something where you're instantly like, oh no, this is not the person for me?
An immediate red flag. So, two is one, talking badly about your employer. I get it. We've all had like toxic jobs, bad bosses, but it shows like a character. Like, don't talk bad about them in an interview, your new job. And then the second one is lying about your experiences. I understand you really want the job, but even if you don't get this one, if you lie, then automatically it's like a bad taste with you and the company. And then if you don't lie and if you're honest, you're more likely to get another chance with another role in the future. So always be honest.
What are the top 5 resume mistakes you've seen candidates make?
They oversaturate their resume. They don't include, like, to be honest with you, there's not really a right format. My resume is not like picture perfect. I bought it off of Etsy and then I I made it myself. There's always like these myths where you have to have like this resume or that resume, like no photo. Those are all myths. I've seen all types of resumes, but mainly the ones is you list none of your like accomplishments. Like feel free to like brag loudly about your resume. We want to see like everything that you accomplished at your job. It's very important for you to be able to stand out. And then the second thing is like you don't list any of your transferable skills or projects. We take those into consideration. They're very important. And then most of all, like don't like put like 3 to 4 pages of job experiences. Only put the ones that are relevant, that are impactful, that matter to the job that you're applying for, the job description, what you want to be known for. Like, just keep it short, simple, and impactful. My resume is just 3 to 5 bullet points per job. It lists all my accomplishments, metrics, money that I made the company, how I helped my managers. All those matter. Like, don't put referrals. Like, we will ask for it if we need it.
Awesome. So I guess based on your answer, the top 5 things that you absolutely need in a resume is having metrics, not having it more than a couple pages, one page, I guess, not having the referrals, or like if you need contact someone, this is my ex boss, like that's just waste of space, is what you said. Yeah.
Most of these companies, they don't ask for any referrals. It's very rare to see someone ask for a referral.
So when you get a candidate, do you bother checking their LinkedIn at all? Does it matter?
It actually does matter a lot. These days, you'll see so many tech companies, every company use LinkedIn. Even for me, like when I got the job at Amazon, they found me through LinkedIn. They didn't they even look at my resume first. They looked at my LinkedIn experience. These days, like so many companies are using AI LinkedIn to filter and find candidates. So the filters matter a lot. It's like it's like a external ATS system for you to stand out. Make sure you have your location correct, like the metropolitan area. Make sure like your resume is loud on LinkedIn, like all the bullet points, all the keywords, your about section, your summary, your skill sets, fill that all out. Like your LinkedIn is the new reach.
So do you recommend people also become LinkedIn influencers like us and start posting?
I honestly got all of my jobs because I posted on LinkedIn. Like, reach is like the new resume. All of my employers, like, I constantly get new opportunities, like engagements, brands, still to this day, employers, even like I don't have my open to work on as often. They're like, hey, we saw your posts. Are you open to work? Would you like to have time for an interview? We love to learn more about you. The more that you don't have to go viral, like, you just have to put yourself out there because it expands your network. One person likes your post, another one will like it, another one will like it, and it could reach someone in their network that is looking for what you have to offer.
What about cold emails? Do you get a lot of cold emails? Do you hire a lot of people through cold emails?
Yes and no. For me, I've never hired someone through a cold email, and here's why. Hey, Linda, this is my resume. Can you get me a job? Hey, I'm looking for a job. Can you hire me? Hey, like, do you know any recruiters with this? I have no idea what experiences you are. The best type of networking and cold emails. So, like, when I was looking for a job, I did a lot of cold emails, cold DMs, and I got like a 80 to 90% response rate because I was very intentional with my like email subject line. I made sure to find the person that was hiring for that specific role. My last company, I reached out to the director directly and I was like, hey, this is my experience. This is my resume. I'm looking for a job as a recruiter. And because I knew like they were the director and they manage every single person, they referred me to the right team because I was intentional with what I was reaching out to them. I didn't just reach out to random recruiters like, "Hey, can you get me a job? Can you do this for me?" Like, no one knows you, no one owes you anything, but they're more likely to be willing to help you out if you give them what they need instead of making them, like, chase you for it.
So I guess it's quality over quantity, where you're sending a limited number of emails out, but they're to the right people with the right content and everything they need to know about you. Since you mentioned subject lines, are there any subject line recommendations that you have? Because that is the first thing that people read.
For emails, I typically list the job title. Like, for example, I'm just going to give an example. If you're like a software engineer, I would say I would list your name, software engineer, rec, or title that you saw. I typically didn't do subject lines in LinkedIn. I typically just did connection request, and that's it with a smiley face just to keep it warm. You want to do like a lot of warm intros. You don't want to just immediately like attack someone's like, "Hey, can you help me?" and no one knows who you are. If you do it warmly and kindly, you're more likely to get a response.
That's great advice. So, usually, when you have an interview with a recruiter, they ask you in the end, "Do you have any questions for me?" I know people say that you're supposed to ask them. What do you think? And what are some of the good questions you can ask?
That is one of the most important way to end an interview because they're trying to gauge if you paid attention to anything that they asked you during the interview itself. So for me, I always redirect it to the recruiter. And the 5 important questions that I always ask has really good feedback and has been well received by like companies, hiring managers, like recruiters who interviewed me. Were what was it like when you first started? And then what is it like now for you? How have you changed in your role and involved now? What has it been like to work with your manager and how have they helped you succeed? What were some of the most difficult challenges and how were you able to overcome them? Can you give me an example of a task where you were having trouble with and how did you allow your team or be able to get help from your team to support you and help you? So you want to always make sure like you redirect it to the recruiter and allow them to explain like give a little insight into the role themselves and see like who they are, who they've become, what they're currently doing. It always works really well because people love to talk about themselves.
That's a lot of really good questions that you stated there. I was also curious if Amazon actively hires international students or even internationally. So if it's a position in the US, can someone from Canada or India directly apply and just move to the US?
Yes, depending on the role, it's a very great company. They offer a lot of like sponsorships and options. We do hire a lot of candidates in India, Canada, internationally. Amazon is like worldwide. It's a really great company that offers a lot of benefits to that. It just depends on the role, the position, if you're able to move, all of those things. So it just depends on the role. But yes, we are open to international students.
So I have two more questions for you. One is, does a career gap matter and is it frowned upon?
No. I have so many career gaps, like, take it from me. I had a before I started Amazon, I took a year off. No one questioned it. I interviewed with, like, a bunch of different companies. No one brought it up once. I know that there is a lot of companies out there that still stigmatize towards it, but those are not companies that you wanna work for because it shows that they don't value mental health or work-life balance. They don't have a good culture. So if someone's gonna judge you or shame you for taking time off or being human, you don't wanna work with them anyways. The right company is not going to hold your career gaps towards you. You took a break, your skills did not.
That's a really good way to put it. Um, Last question. Do you think as a recruiter, hiring has slowed down now that we kind of have a recession and there's a lot of layoffs going on?
I know that there are a lot of layoffs going on and it has slowed down like on the news and the front. And of course, like it's very heartbreaking to see so many people be laid off. But honestly, I see like there are so many people hiring still, especially like software engineers, like in the tech space. There's someone that's always looking for you. I know like it's hard to compete with so many like applicants, but there are a lot more jobs coming in. So have hope.
Just adding to that, do you feel like with the rise in AI and software engineers being a lot faster with writing code with the help of AI tools, do you think there'll be a lesser number of positions per se in the near future?
I think AI is an asset. I don't think it will ever replace a person. I gave AI like a math calculation the other day because I was too lazy to do it. It got it wrong. So I don't think that AI is going to replace people. You need the human aspect. I do believe that AI helps you become better at your job and it helps like accelerate things that may take longer. So it's an asset, but it's not replaceable.
This was super helpful. Thank you so much. Please let us know the best way to connect with you.
You can connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram. She'll tag it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tag it in the description below. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.